Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
I'm Jenn.
And she's always doing something. So today is a huge preserving day. Actually, your next couple videos are going to be all about preserving the garden food. So I'm going to show you what we're getting into, what she's doing for prep work, and then what we're doing today, because it's going to be a lot of moving parts.
There and everywhere.
Yeah, so keep up. Okay, so this morning I got, if you had to guess, picking up that bucket.
I mean, it's a 5-gallon bucket, and it was full. I've already washed. These are too big to do pickles, unless we absolutely have to. We'll see. But I'm doing these size. So it was like overflowing with cucumbers. I have no idea how many pounds.
If I was a guessing man, I would say probably 20 pounds.
20 pounds?
20 pounds of cucumbers.
Maybe 30.
So what does that mean?
That means we're making pickles.
That means we're
which
making
is good.
pickles.
We haven't made pickles in 3 years, and if you've been following us for a while, I'm sure you remember the last video. I swore I was never going to make pickles again because it was such a huge cucumber year. So 2 years ago, we did not make pickles the year that we moved. We didn't make pickles last year because I don't even think we grew cucumbers last year.
We grew like 3 and it didn't go well.
So it is 3 years later and we are making pickles again, and I'm okay with it. I'm excited about it. I've been ready for this. I've had my mind in the right space. I didn't honestly know we were going to get this many, but it's time. So we're going to make bread and butter pickles first and then dill pickles.
So you did see in the previous video, we had a little small batch of fermented pickles that we have that turned out fantastic. It's so good. However, how we do the little fermenting piece, we put it in the fridge. That's not going to be long term. That's what we're going to eat now. Being able to can does give you that long time shelf storage, and that's what we're going for here. So hopefully we don't have to make pickles for another couple years.
Pickles is really one of the main things that the kids eat. So if we can get through a year without buying pickles, which is fantastic, then we'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So get ready. Bread and butter and dill pickles coming your way.
And we're canning them. I guess we should mention that.
Yes, we are canning them. This is water bath.
Yes.
Water bath canning, what we're going to be doing. So get your water bath out. Let's do this thing.
Okay, so with our pickles, we do the salt soak method. A lot of people do different things to get their pickles crispy, but this is the method we've always used, and it works. So you just want a non-iodized salt. I've got the bottom covered a little bit more, and we're just going to sprinkle the salt, and we're going to kind of layer it. So I'm going to put more cucumbers here on top.
I'm going to have to slow Jenn down today because I know she's got a big preserving day, and I know she's missing a few things that are popping up in your head.
I've never considered myself a great teacher, but here we are.
Yeah, you are a great teacher. It's because you're busy, right? Y'all know how it is. If y'all, I'll show you what the rest of our kitchen looks like here in a second. This is just one of many things. Yeah. So, what is that process? What are you even doing?
So, what the salt does on the cucumbers is it makes them sweat, and it gets all that extra moisture off, which is in turn supposed to make them stay crunchy longer. Yeah.
And so, when she said this method, that's because there is, if you're at Walmart or if you're at any of the grocery stores and you're in the canning section, there is, I think, is it Ball that actually brings it out? So. It's kind of like they're like little kits that they have. It's actually like a crunch kick. So you can just sprinkle that right onto your cucumbers, and I don't think you even have to let them soak when you do that method. It's a quick method. However, you know, take it for what it is. We try to not do anything with our preserving that's going to be any kind of chemical based. And that, you know, kind of is. It's not just natural salt. So this process takes a little bit longer, but you are just using natural salts. Yep. And so that's just what we prefer.
Yeah, and what you do is you let them, once you get all your cucumbers
God, she's busy today.
In there with your salt, you cover it with like press and seal or saran wrap, whatever. Put it in the fridge for a couple hours and just let all that water soak to the bottom.
Yep, and we'll show you what to do after that. Alright, tell them what you're doing now, man.
Okay, so I got all my cucumbers and all my salt in here. I'm just kind of tossing it around, making sure that everyone gets salt on them so that they can sweat out their water. I did half of the bucket, so I've got the other half that I'll do for dill, because we are a split family. I don't know about you all, but me and Wyatt love bread and butter, and Zach and Raylan love dill. So we have to have both, unfortunately. I wish I could just do one overall, but it's okay, because when guests come too, then we can tell them we have both, whichever they prefer.
Okay, so Jenn has gotten all of the different cucumbers. So how many did you do? Like
it's
bowls?
One large bowl and two, well, actually it's one extra large bowl and two large bowls.
Okay, so all those are in the fridge and now they're just sitting for a couple hours. Well, in the meantime, we have more preserving going on. I think we need a bigger kitchen, babe.
Yeah, I think so.
we got stuff everywhere. So she is cutting up more squash. Is it just squash?
Yeah, I might get into the zucchini. We'll see.
Okay.
All I have left is half this tray, so I don't have much more room. But I'm putting it in the freeze dryer because we've really been liking that method, and that's what we're doing with a lot of it besides just cooking it. So getting more of that in the freeze dryer while I'm waiting on the cucumbers.
Nice. Okay, it's been a wild day. It's been several hours later. We actually did the tomatoes, which I think you all already saw, or maybe not. I don't know, because we're doing it all on the same day. We got them done, and now it's time to tackle these pickles. So they have been sitting for probably 3-4 hours, which is fine. It's fine. You just don't want them to like go days sitting in that salt because then it'll get salty. So now she's going to take them out and wash them. We're going to wash them really good and get all that salt off of them. And I am going to start cutting the veggies we need for the brine. So we're going to start with bread and butter pickles. So keep that down if that's what you came here for. That's what we're about to make. Then we'll do the dill pickles. So hold on tight. Let's go.
Okay, I am rinsing our cucumbers. I'm just doing like a very small bit at a time because you want to make sure that you get every cucumber good. Kind of pick them up, filter through them. You can even feel them. You can even taste them after you're done and see if you've gotten most of the salt off. You just don't want to have really salty cucumbers. You just want it to be crunchy, not very salty. And they will be salty, but you don't want over the top. So I think this batch is good. Make sure that's all off, and then we just keep rolling through them and separate them as we go.
Okay, I just got done cutting up a bunch of onions and a pepper, and we're gonna throw these just a little bit in each jar to add a little flavor to it, but you don't actually have to cook this in the brine. They go straight in the jar with the cucumbers.
I forgot to show with the other bowl how much water we got off of these cucumbers. Hopefully you can see it, but that's what that salt does. Otherwise, all of that water would be soaked into your cucumbers and they would not be crunchy. Okay, our jars are sanitized. We just put them in our water bath canner to sanitize them. Got them good and hot. Zach is going through and putting in bell peppers and a little bit of onions, like half of a handful, just a little bit. He's putting that in each jar. And he's also going to put a clove of garlic in each jar. And I'm going to go through and start filling them with the pickles. Garlic is going in.
So the one thing I'll add, we have elephant garlic, so you see me dropping quite a bit in here. But you know, is there ever, if they say 1 clove of garlic, it's usually like 3 cloves,
we usually
right?
do 5.
Right, exactly. Just kind of the way it goes with garlic. So just kind of do what you want. If you like a lot of garlic, put a little more. If you're not the biggest fan, stick to the recipe.
Okay, we're just going and stuffing our jars with the cucumbers. So you want to do it tight because the last thing you want is to have a jar that does not have enough pickles in it. But you don't want to do it too tight. You don't want to force anything because you don't want to mess up your headspace. So just push them down.
3 little bears.
Yep, 3 little bears. Just push them down and pack them as tightly as you can, but don't force it.
Okay, while she's packing, I'm going to start working on the brine. So I'm going to give you what it would take if you was making about 10 cucumbers. That's what you're going to hear the words out of my mouth say. You're going to see me doing that about quadruple the amount because we have that many daggone cucumbers that we're pickling right now. So, let's get on. What are we making? Bread and butter. Remember. Okay, we are going to start with our white distilled vinegar, and we're going to do 2 cups. We're going to do 2 cups of sugar, 1/4 cup of water. I think this is my favorite part because I'm going to tell you it's going to be a tablespoon of mustard seeds, but that's how we're going to do it. A little extra for good measure. A teaspoon of celery seed. 1/8 a teaspoon of ground cloves. 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. 1 teaspoon of black peppercorns. So fun fact, this recipe is actually Jenn and old Graybeard's recipe. They made it for years, and it's always been a fantastic bread and butter recipe that we've had. So all this will be linked down below, so you don't have to memorize everything I just said. But the goal here now is to not come to a boil, but to get hot. Because all you're trying to do is melt that sugar, melt all those seasonings into the vinegar and water, so it can just become one happy family. Once we get nice and hot, then we'll pour it into all over our jars with the cucumbers in them, and then we're gonna be ready for water bathing. It's that easy, that easy. Okay, our brine is hot, everything is melted together, so we're ready to rock. Funny enough, all those cucumbers Jenn did made 12 quarts.
Which it takes a lot. It was a 5-gallon bucket worth, but it's gonna be 12 quarts of bread and butter, so we're actually not gonna do dill this time. That'll be next time.
Yep, time to fill them up. How much headspace?
1/2 inch.
1/2 inch, all right, so let's get these bad boys filled up. One big thing you want to make sure you're doing at this point is that you're getting plenty of the seeds, so the mustard seeds and the peppercorns, because they float. So try to just get it equivalent in all of the ones that you're doing. You don't want to just be juice.
Pick this up.
Alright, once you get your juice in your jars, you want to have a rag with white distilled vinegar on it, and you want to wipe those lids just so none of that sticky bread and butter brine got on there and will have any issues sealing. So you just want to make sure you're not dipping your rag in there. Clean that top so you have a nice sterile top, and we won't have any issues when it comes to sealing time. Once you have that done, you want to make sure that you go in and do a debubble. So debubble, especially when you have like cucumbers and stuff like that, you got little air pockets in there. So you want to get your little tooth, or I always want to call it toothpick, your chopstick down in the sides, pop up any air bubbles you may have. And honestly, you do this before you do the vinegar. Then Jenn said, hey, you didn't debubble. And so I'll probably go back and do the vinegar again. If you're seeing steam, it's from the water bath canner. So at this,
I've had a facial all day.
she really has.
Steam flowing in my face. My skin ought to be in really good shape.
Fun fact: when we film, we have to turn our vent off because you all can't hear us. It's too loud. However, I will like to announce that we do have our CO detector out and has been out all day because we don't want the carrot issue again.
No.
Okay, so if you watch us, this is going to get repetitive, and I want you to put down low what I'm about to say of what Jenn's doing. Fingertip tight.
Yeah.
Do not put that extra on that jar. We like to say it just in case somebody comes across our channel, it's their first time. That's going to ruin your day. You're going to have popped up lids and all that good stuff. So she's getting all the jars on. That brine made exactly 7 quarts, and I quadrupled it, just FYI, if you were following what I did. So we're going to have to make another brine again for the next few that we have, but our water bath canner only holds 7, so it's time to get them in. Okay, for pickles, your processing time is 10 minutes for pints, 15 minutes for quarts. So we have quarts, we're doing 15 minutes. Again, what's the rule with water bath canning? Wait till it comes back to a boil before your timer starts. We had to add just a tiny little bit more water to make sure it covered the lids at least about an inch, because you definitely want the water above in water bath canning. So we'll watch it, wait till she comes to a boil, then we'll start our timer. All right, our 15 minutes are up. We got our next brine round going, and it's time to take these bad boys out. Hold it up. Let's see what we look like.
Beautiful.
Ooh, that looks so good.
So yummy. Home canned pickles are such a simple and easy thing, but there's nothing better than pulling out your jar of pickles in the dead of winter and not going to the store to buy them. And people are like, what's that? You're like, that's my pickles. I grew from cucumbers.
That's right.
I'm running out of room on this mat.
I know. Look at this mat. This has been today's work. We still have 5 more to go. My hip hurts. My back hurts. My leg hurts.
My ankles hurt, but nothing else.
But we wouldn't trade this for anything at all. Looking at what you've grown in your garden and then looking at it in that many jars. I mean, how many jars we got? Like, we're over 30 jars of food once we get said and done here, because we're not done. It's just, I mean, it is mind-blowing. It makes me feel so good inside.
Yeah, it really does. And it's not just important to grow it. Like, we talk to you all most about growing your food, but we always, through this time of year, we say, now the most important part of all is to preserve it.
Yep.
Because just growing it and throwing it away or giving it to the pigs or your neighbors is not going to help you in the winter. You need to preserve it as well. It's hot, it sucks, you don't want to. You look at all this list and you're like, I don't want to do that today. But you have to. You've got to grow your own food and preserve it and put it up so that you can have food all winter long.
Yeah. And we've been preaching it to you for 5 years. But if the world's not telling you right now that you need to be doing this more now than ever, I don't know how we can get through to you.
Yeah.
This is the absolute most important thing that you can be doing, because it's what's going to give you peace of mind, you calmness, and still your happiness when winter comes. And here we go again. More shortages, more inflation, all that action, but you're going to have a pantry full. Remember when we did the pantry challenge in January and February? We didn't go to the grocery store, and it was amazing. Our happiness stayed, we loved it, and it's because we were eating a lot of our old canned goods and just filtering through. So we were doing it as a game. But that could be real life, and that is why we are pushing so hard for you all to start canning your goods. Yes, eat fresh. Eat in season. However, take your season further than summer. You can do that by doing what we're doing right now. We do this because we love our family and we love y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, like, y'all can just stop watching, but I don't know if I could stop doing videos.
No.
Like, I mean, you all have gotten to a sacred place in my heart, and I really want to, like, be like, hey, family, are you not doing it? Because I need you to do it. And so that's why we try to do these videos, educational videos, to help you understand how to do it if you're nervous about it. Because the last thing we want to do is push someone away from it. We just want to bring them into it. So that's why you've had the tomato videos, the pickle videos, and then guess what?
One more.
One more coming at you.
There'll be plenty more this summer, but one more this week. It's going to be canning corn. So this corn that we are going to can, we did not grow.
No.
You saw us attempt at that in the Birds Ate All Our Seeds, and we failed. But guess what? We found a local corn source. It's the one we use every year. It's Galrine Farms in Shelbyville, Kentucky. It's now 2 hours from us, but we still go get the corn because it's non-GMO, not sprayed. It's the best quality that we can find, and then we bring it back. We get 2 bushels a year. We freeze one on the cob, like whole corns, and then we can the other back. And that is very important because corn is a good source to have in your pantry.
Yes, and it's very important to remember that. Grow everything you can. But if it fails, like our corn did, go get it.
Yep.
And
there
can
is a farmer near you who you can support, who has good quality stuff. He just needs you to find him, and then you can put it up and tell everyone. Be like, hey, I didn't grow this, but you can go get it, and you can grow it, or you can can it yourself too.
And that's the most important part, as well as, you know, the humility of it. It's okay if you fail, but can it while you're still learning. Because there may be a moment when we don't have a chance to fail anymore, and we just have to grow and we're completely relying on ourselves.
Right.
So make sure your pantry stocked, make sure you're still learning in the garden, and preserve everything you can.
Yep. So we're going to finish up the rest of these. We've got 5 more quarts to go in. We'll give you a last shot of everything that we did today, but we're going to leave you now, and you'll see the ending clip. And then we're going to go camping this weekend.
Yep.
We're going to have a great time knowing that we worked very hard this week to put up food. We preserved our harvest. Nothing that we grew went to waste. There will be more. We hope you stick with us, and we hope you learn. We hope that we are always pushing you.
Yeah.
That's who we are. Zach and Jen are pushers.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, we will push you to always do better and be better. So we will continue. Hopefully you'll get on board. We always hope to encourage you. But that's it for now. We love y'all.
I love it. That was good. She needs to end more, doesn't she? If you're new here, hit the subscribe button.
Right.
Subscribe button. We love you.
Bye.
Until the next one. Bye. Woo!
You want some milk? Pickles!
Okay, folks. 18 quarts of chili. 6 quarts of tomato juice. 12 quarts of bread and butter pickles. That is a good day's work right there. We're going to bed.
Good night.
Good night.